So we're just walking around the property here, not the full length of it. It goes all the way out there. But we're back here and pulled down a bunch of vines today. Like, I've never seen vines like this. Like, they're all over the place. Going like, they were all over the back of the house there. That's the old farmhouse. They were all over the back of it. They were all over the shack. You can still see them hanging there. That's the outhouse down there. There's a bunch of them over the outhouse. But we've just got piles and piles of vines sitting around here. But Linda's identifying some plants here already, and this one is pretty cool to have, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is. There's really, it's like, how can you not identify this? Because there's not a huge amount of stuff that really looks like it, at least not in this area. But this is the yucca, and the yucca plant, you can see that it has these fibers that are kind of peeling off of the edges. I'm not sure if this one's really getting enough sun. It might be getting enough sun. But we have quite a few of these on the property, and not only do they put out this kind of flower shoot thing that comes up out of it, and it produces some sort of a fruit that you can actually eat that's really supposedly really good. I've never had one, but I'm dying to try it. But the leaves themselves, the whole plant is medicinal, especially the root. The root is what you really want, but the leaves are one of those things that you can like take. The Native Americans used to take them and pound them, macerate the whole leaf, like, you know, all the way down the length of it. And then they would take something sharp and you could start to scrape away at the surface of the leaf. And it would reveal all of these fibers running all the way through each one. And then you take those little fibers and pull them all apart, and you can use them to weave cord. Rope and cord.
That's pretty cool. Are they poisonous to dogs?
I don't know about that.
Uh-oh.
Poisonous to dogs. But dogs are pretty good about what they can and can't eat. Dogs have a tendency, it's like they have an instinct that they seem to stay away from things that are not too good for them. But we still got to watch them because, you know, some dogs are smarter than others.
Yeah.
But
and there's so many things to identify.
They really are.
What about the bush on the front of the house there?
Oh, that bush is a boxwood.
Take a look at it?
Yeah. So all over this entire property, we have this growing here. And I haven't quite figured out exactly what it is. It could be ground ivy. There was another word that came up when I used my app, a C word. Forget what it was. Cleavers? I forget what it was. But I have to look. But you know, as you can see, it's very invasive. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It is. But I've also been looking because it's winter. I've been picking up some of the more interesting leaves, like this one here, that has the kind of comes up and then scoops back in. So that might be a fairly good one to identify. And this is another one here. The nice lobes along the margins. So I'll take some of these leaves and take them back to the computer when I have a little bit of a better internet connection than I do here. And then try to figure out exactly what kind of trees we have in the area.
And there's another example of the vines. I mean, those things are all over the place.
Yeah.
And setting that dog down here, we cut them at the base and cut them about a couple inches in between the base and where they attach there. And then there's some stuff you can do to treat the bases of them. But yeah, just letting them hang there to die. And you can see like some of these trees here, like look at how big. Some of these vines were like the size of actual trees.
They were.
It was crazy.
Huge. But we also wanted to cut these things down, particularly because, well, we love trees. We don't want to watch any tree die from having vines covering it, especially not black walnut trees.
We don't hug them or anything like that, but we just like having them around.
Occasionally I'll hug one. I have been known to hug a big giant tree. Like,
I haven't hugged any trees, but
it's a good feeling.
We like them.
But these are, what I believe, these are all black walnuts. You've got this one here, then you've got that one over there, and then further back on the property, you've got 2 or 3 more, and they seem to line sort of the usable left edge of the property. But we had looked around on the ground and found all of these old black walnuts. Is that one right there?
That's like the inside of one.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's what they look like there.
Yep. So They're all around on the ground out here. So that's what kind of clued us in and let us know that these were black walnut trees. I even found some of the fruits, like the green fruits that had rotted and turned brown. Here's one right here.
I did too. Yeah, it wasn't so
Here's
green.
one right
I
here.
stepped on one earlier. Yeah, it turned a little
This
bit
one right
brown,
there.
but
Yep.
yeah.
And here's another one over here. Yeah, so they literally are all over the place here. So yeah, very good indicator that these are all black walnut trees. And black walnuts are, again, very medicinal. The fruit and the hull and the nut itself. And of course, they're edible. So we're kind of excited to have those on the property. The one thing we don't have on the property that I keep looking for is a white pine tree.
And
I have yet to find a white pine.
another thing that seems to be missing from the property is a white dog.
Oh, yes indeed.
Wolfman!
Daisy!
All right, so we're out in front of the old farmhouse, and we'll go inside there later on. I'm not sure if we'll do it this trip or not. I was already in there a lot today, getting out some of the junk, but this is the Boxwood.
This is the massive boxwood. It is a fairly nice one.
I'm pretty sure I see vines growing in the Boxwood.
Think so?
Yeah, that
I mean,
looks
I
like,
would be-
does that look like a vine right there?
Yeah, kind of does.
Yeah,
Might very well be.
I think it is. I think we got some vines growing in there.
But we do have to cut this thing back, and the reason being because it's been allowed to grow over the years so massive that it's overtaken the 2 yuccas that are at the base of it. So you can see that yucca right there is pretty much dead. It's probably not getting enough nutrients out of the ground. It's got this yucca next to it. It's got the boxwood to compete with, but it's also not getting any sun.
And that's where the base of the vines come out of. See them right there?
Yeah.
They're probably choking out that yucca too, huh?
It could be. It could be, but
Is
yeah.
that a smaller yucca?
Yes, that's a smaller yucca. I think
these
there's a
things
few
are all
more.
over the place.
They are. They were kind of used. They were fairly common to find on homesteads and on properties like this back in the day. You can see right here we've got another one, or maybe 2 up by the front edge of the property. And watch yourself in this hole right
Yeah,
here.
there's one here too.
Yeah.
Like groundhogs were going crazy out here or something. And you can see there's more of those vines. They were all over the front of this house, and we had to tear those vines off of it. And now we're gonna have to burn them or something. That's a big leaf.
So this is one of the leaves I was telling you about. See, it kind of tapers down at the bottom. It's got these little, it's hard to tell, but it's got these little lobes at the very bottom that stick off. It widens out at the tip and becomes quite large. Because now, even this, it's wrinkled up, so you're not getting the full effect of it. But look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, that's a big leaf.
Like, what is that, you know?
I don't know. Did that come from this little tree here?
No, I think this is another walnut.
Oh, baby walnut
It
tree.
looks like another walnut. And then we have something growing up here, which it could be something like,
Oh, I wonder if those are bulbs.
I think they are. I think it might be crocuses, tulips. It's something left over from the landscaping that they had here. But just tender little buds.
Yeah,
on
so
there
it's
now.
around April maybe.
Yeah,
We might see what they are. A little
Yep.
better idea, huh?
yeah. And I think we definitely need to clean it out a little bit so that they have a little room to grow. See, there's another one. As you can see, there's the other yucca bush right there.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm kind of curious about, we have these on the property as well. These very, very red stems. And I think they are pricker bushes. But they tend to grow over like this, and they have this long, see, it's attached down there. But they're this really bright red, like almost like crimson red stems. There's a fairly large one a little bit further back there. And then there's a bunch of yucca plants, see them? Along the front of the embankment over there.
Oh, yeah.
But these little beige trees are the ones we were talking about. Right here. And I find them kind of strange because it almost looks like the ends are chopped off. Like normally you would see what looks like a little bud at the end of the branch. And it's easy to identify the tree by the bud in the middle of the winter. But a lot of these just look like they're like chopped off. And it's kind of odd. exactly sure what they are, and especially because I think they're juvenile. I think they're young trees. So I think what's going to have to happen is once they get older, the bark on them will change a little bit, and then it'll be easier to identify. But at least if we can get some leaves off of these things, at some point in the springtime, we'll have a better idea of what it is. But they're all over here. They're growing all the way down this embankment, starting to grow over there. They were all over the property back here. We had to cut a bunch of them down. So, yeah, there's quite a bit of vegetation, quite a few interesting plants on the property already. Things that I've already been able to identify, and then lots of things that I can't, that I have no idea what it is. But, I'll keep going with my leaf collecting, like this giant leaf here. I'll keep going with leaf collecting and see what we can identify.
I'm excited to get out there and find some more, especially when it gets spring.
I'd love to think maybe we have an American chestnut on the property.
That would be amazing.
I know. I mean, it's very possible. It's just that I'm concerned that it's gonna get the blight,
Yeah.
and die. I hate that.